appointment today. Where did I find Professor Eagle's office? Oh, there it is. Guten Morgen, Professor Eagle. Ich bin Sujitshim Tuda. I'm from the Philippines and we have an appointment today.
Guten Morgen. Come in. What can I do for you today?
I want to know about the educational system of Germany and would like to ask a few questions, Professor.
Of course. Now where do I start? Well, the compulsory education of the German educational system functions upon the rules and regulations of the Grundgesetz, the basic and or fundamental national law. The federal government, with its Department of Education, Cultural Affairs, and Science, has come together to create comprehensive education guidelines regarding basic general education, administrative regulations for school attendance, management of higher education, and foundations for public and private schools. German educational standards at local schools and higher education institutions are relatively high. In fact, precisely because the German school system is so well structured and rigorous, it produces some of the most accomplished students in the world. In a 2015 OECD PISA study, Germany ranked 6th in mathematics as well as in science, and students attending ranked 11 in reading.
What is the school system of Germany?
The German school system is divided into 5 levels: the early childhood education, primary education, secondary education, tertiary education, and lastly is the continuing education.
You have mentioned about compulsory education, Professor. Can you explain what that is?
Compulsory education in Germany dictates that all students from the age of 6 to 15 years old need to attend school consistently. All Germans are obliged to attend primary and secondary education ever since they reach the age of 6 up until they complete a 9-year full-time schooling at gymnasium, or 10 years of full-time years for other general education schools. German compulsory education obliges pupils to regularly participate in school lessons as well as in formal and informal school activities, events, and projects.
What is early childhood education in Germany, Professor?
Early childhood education is optional education and care for children between 0 to 6 of age received in German states. Children may legally stay at home with parents or spend the days with a privately run child-minding service provider instead of going to an official children's daycare center for early childhood education.
The Philippines are curious about this. How many days a week does a German student attend school and the time to spend in school?
The German school week runs from Monday to Friday. Students at elementary school start pretty early from 8 a.m. and stay on until 1 to 2 p.m. For older kids in lower secondary education, these hours may be extended until about 4 p.m. German students in upper secondary education might even stay until 5 p.m. during their last school year.
How is the primary and secondary education in Germany, Professor Eagle?
Primary school or elementary school in Germany is known as Grundschule. The very first term in German primary education starts around at the beginning of September. From ages 6 to 10, children go through 4 years of school in primary education. However, some primary schools and institutions run for 6 years. That means your 5th grade age would be 11 and the 6th grade student would be 12 years old. The core objective of German primary education is development of essential understanding, skills, abilities, and key competencies amongst pupils. Primary textbooks in Germany that are used as a study reference have to be approved by the respective ministry. People suffering long-term or permanent illness or physical incapacity who couldn't attend primary education lessons, they may as well receive such education at their homes.
Excuse me, Professor, but I heard that homeschooling in Germany is illegal.
Yes, homeschooling in Germany is considered illegal because students must attend school from 6 to 15 years of age. The German education system requires that all students must attend a school, whether it is a primary, secondary, or even tertiary or private schools. So, moving on. Once basic school or primary school is complete, students progress to the secondary school component of education in Germany. There are 5 types of academic secondary school in the German secondary education system, including first, the Gymnasium for academic students, Realschule for students focused on vocational education, Hauptschule for less academic students, and Gesamtschule for comprehensive school for all education types. And lastly, the integrated schools where Hauptschule and Realschule are merged.
What is the kind of grading system used in German primary and secondary schools?
The progress of pupils in German primary and secondary schools is evaluated upon a 6-mark grading system. 1, which is equivalent to very good, 2, good, 3, satisfactory, 4, adequate, 5, poor, 6, very poor.
Do your students have or do homeworks?
Homework in Germany is very important, and the school day is structured in such a way that students have plenty of time to complete it and gain extra help or support where necessary. Even in primary school, students spend at least half an hour in accomplishing their homeworks. Education in Germany is designed to provide students with 20 to 30 hours of lessons per week.
What subjects are taught in German schools?
This depends on which secondary school the student have chosen and where in the country they are located. In general, education in gymnasium level required for those planning to enter or attend tertiary education covers a broad range of subjects. Students are opting for 32 to 40 hours of lessons per week plus additional homework. They'll be studying a variety of subjects, usually including a second foreign language from a peak of English, French, Spanish, and Latin, and more. There are also sports, music, drama, and art lessons.
Professor, they said just like in the Philippines, the education here in Germany is for free. Is it?
Administrators and educational ministers in Germany believes that the cost for education should not be a prohibiting factor in a child's education. That is why compulsory education in Germany is free for all students. School attendance is not a subject to any tuition fees, and also higher education at a German university is free of charge, provided it is not a private institution.
How about the tertiary education in Germany, Professor Higo?
German tertiary education in Germany provides higher education for qualifying individuals who, before all, have completed secondary education in Germany or abroad, which entitles them to enter higher education studies. Higher education institutions under the Basic Law enjoy the autonomy to independently manage the scholarship awarding, research, and teaching activity. For administrative issues such as academic and governmental matters, these institutions have to be in record with the state's ministry. The first higher education qualification in Germany is the bachelor degree. The standard period of study in a bachelor program is 6 semesters or 3 full academic years. The second higher education qualifications in Germany is the master degree. It takes 2 to 4 semesters to complete studies in a German master degree program. The admission requirements for the German master degree program are bachelor degree related to the master studies, entrance examinations for master studies in art field, special aptitude for master studies in art field, and proof of minimum of 1 year work experience. The third higher education qualification in Germany is the PhD degree. This is a program that is embraced by the most qualified students and can be taken at German universities and equivalent institutions in collaboration with non-university research institutions. Admission requirements for the German PhD degree or master's degree issued by university or equivalent institutions or universities of applied sciences or other institutions. Bachelor's degree. This applies if the applicant is well qualified. An examination to evaluate their aptitudes has to take place. Next is evidence of having passed the first stage of examination.
What about the continuing education you have mentioned?
Continuing education in Germany is the education that is aimed at responding ever-changing demands of the labor market. This education type is provided by municipal and private institutions, churches, trade unions, chambers of industry and commerce, association, political parties, businesses, public authorities, academies, family education centers, vocational schools, Fachschulen radio, television, and other institutions.
I have one last question, Professor. Can a foreign student like me still attend any German universities with free tuition?
The German free tuition system is available for all foreign students, regardless of their country of origin. Public universities do not charge tuition fees for bachelor's degree and master's degree programs, except if you plan to pursue a master's degree that focuses on a different subject from the one you studied as bachelor's student.
Danke schön, Professor Rico. Finally, I have learned about the educational system of Germany. I can go back to the Philippines now and share this information to my friends. But I am more glad to know that foreign students like me can still attend any German universities with free tuition.